Hi everybody, it's SuperKerri. I'm hanging out here with GMandalorian, and we're here to discuss Man of Steel. Let me just go ahead and put this out there first. Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because we're just gonna let you have it. So, would you like to begin with how much we hated this movie?
Man of Squeal.
Man of stealing my money.
Yes.
Man of stealing 3 hours of my life.
Yes. Okay.
Like,
yeah. The timing. That was an hour too long. Point one.
Point him for one.
All right, and I'm going to lead off with my secondary point because I can't stop talking. Is
you think I'm bad?
An engineered society. Your super engineered general gets beaten in a fist fight by your super engineered super scientist.
Hand combat. Russell Crowe destroyed him.
Yeah. So, what's that say about your program?
Fail.
You're up.
Okay. The first, what felt like 40 minutes of the movie was the origin story of the planet Krypton. Pretty neat concept, cool to look at, but it took way too long. And then next thing you know, it jumps right to Clark Kent the Sailor Man. I don't want to see Clark Kent as an adult. I want to see the origin stories of him growing up on Earth, not jump forward to him being an adult and let's have 15 hallucinogenic flashbacks throughout the film. It just, oh my god, it was so bad. He's whiny. First of all, he looks amazing. This guy looks incredible. You look at him and it's like, wow, this guy is Superman. And then he opens his mouth, and when he's not whining like a little crybaby, he's groaning. Like yelling, and then he coughs more than I do. I am the only super person that should be coughing this much.
Okay, that brings me to point number 2. Okay, Superman. The explanation, how does Superman fly through interstellar space, a vacuum, and not need to breathe?
Because he takes a big breath before he goes.
He super oxygenates his blood and therefore can fly through interstellar space. Because his body can handle it, but he doesn't breathe or do anything. He just essentially holds his breath. Now, in this movie, terraforming, atmospheric reconfiguration of a planet for the habitation of another society or another species plays a big part. Why not just hold your breath while you're in the alien atmosphere?
Because that would make too much goddamn sense.
Ah, there you go.
What else do I want to yell about? Let's see. The dialogue.
Weak.
The dialogue in this movie is so stiff. I didn't even bother to sit in there. I don't even know off the top of my head who wrote it, and I'm ashamed because if I'm going to make fun of something, I should at least know who it is I'm making fun of.
My bet is it's a guy who wrote an episode of Doctor Who or two.
Oh, man, they stole so much Doctor Who. Holy cow. I'm looking at my arm, and I'm almost ashamed because it's the last thing the face of Bo said to the Doctor. You are not alone. I have to listen to Zod go on and on and on repeatedly in every language on Earth. You are not alone. Only then to watch Clark Kent Kal-El through the whole movie having his big struggle with having to destroy his people, much like the Doctor had to destroy Gallifrey. It was completely ripped off about 4 different episodes of Doctor Who. Not even going back old school. I'm talking about even just David Tennant forward. There was nothing original about this, down to the Matrix pod children, to the costumes that were stolen from Chronicles of Riddick.
Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie, so I'm thinking that, okay.
He took the wrong pill and went down the wrong hole because he stood there, and it was a waste of a fine actor. He stood there and did nothing. He did nothing. He served no purpose.
All right, now the traditional Superman suit is actually the unitard that is worn by all Kryptonians beneath their battle armor, which I think they got a good deal on from the Chronicles of Riddick because the whole
it looks like crap.
I always say this wrong. The Necromunda or whatever. It was the same damn thing.
Same costume. You know what? I miss the red shorts. I really do. Maybe I'm the only person that does, but it looked weird. It looks like he's running around in a unitard, and I like the red shorts. He's had red shorts since day one. They've had umpteen different versions of the Batman costume, and you know what? Getting rid of the blue tights from, Adam West time, okay, yeah, I dig it. I like the new Batman costume, but Superman needs the red trunks.
Okay, now,
sorry.
We know Superman has never been that great of a strategic fighter, and that's why the Batman always kicks his ass. Yes, it's true. But, okay. Yeah, she knows it. But the thing is, okay, if you're going to destroy a ship by flying through it, why wait till you're under it, like knocked down, and then fly up through its butthole and explode through the top.
Because apparently that worked in Independence Day and Evolution.
Okay, now, we'll come back to that, because there was an Independence Day I'll be back moment.
Oh,
I
totally.
called it.
Totally. Hi, Christopher Maloney, how you doing?
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Lois is in the plane, and Kerri's like, you got that wrong, but of course it happened anyway. With its own tagline being an honorable death is a reward unto itself. If
I
I'm
don't know.
getting that
Too
right.
busy not listening to what they're saying at that point. It was so
pretty
dry.
weak. And what was the guy? The man rapist guy from Oz. If
Christopher
you guys,
Maloney. You don't even listen to anything I say. I'm sitting right next to you.
Well, you can say the name, and I don't know.
I'm sitting right next to you.
I don't know the guy's name.
I'm not even here.
No, I'm listening. I just don't know the guy's name. So anyway, the point being, strategy. If you're flying in from space, you've got some speed. You're still juiced up before you've gotten into the atmospheric changes of the world engine. Okay, so why not just fucking smack right into the top of this thing and bust through it, and then fly back and take care of the other ship?
Because they spent so much. They needed all that extra time so they can destroy more buildings.
Okay.
There was more set
Someone
destruction.
was trying to compensate.
Someone could compensate. They were trying to catch up with the Avengers.
Right.
The problem is the structural damage that occurred in the Avengers in New York City made sense. You had this many Avengers fighting this many aliens. It was all fluid. Every time you turned a corner, you were flying to another one. All the fights, coincided. They intersected. It worked. This was just, let's knock things down for the sake of knocking them down. By the time the movie was done, Metropolis is dust.
Right.
And Lawrence Fishburne's still standing there with his thumb up his butt.
Right. Because he was going to save a girl. And he stood there, very Lawrence Fishburne-y. I'm not leaving you. And he even got the Weasley guy. There's one of those in every movie.
Amy Adams, go back to the Muppets, please.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Especially in that role.
If she could have just broken out into song, it would have made me so much happier.
That would have been good.
It really would.
Sheldon Cooper would have made that movie a little bit better. Sheldon Cooper as Superman.
Well, okay, go back to Lois Lane, though. Go back to Lois Lane. This movie doesn't even bring around the whole Clark Kent as mild-mannered reporter until the last 10 seconds of the film. So, from minute 1, Lois Lane meets him, figures out who he is, traces back everything to his childhood, everything he's ever done, goes and meets his mom, hangs out. She knows all his secrets. And then we're supposed to believe they can just work peacefully together, the Daily Planet. Oh, it's nothing now. I'm sorry. I couldn't even. I was gagging. I miss Lois Lane as the plucky reporter. I miss the interaction between the two of them. Granted, I like that they got rid of the curl because it's not like a pair of glasses, and a curl is going to make you not recognize the man standing next to you. But I love that whole cat and mouse game, and they took it away, and it was
made
missing something.
Not that it was easy to believe that he could pull off that type of coverage, or what's the word I'm searching for? Covert operation, hiding in plain sight. But this was just even more so because lots of people have seen you and you're really not changing your look that much. So is it one of these, everyone knows you're Superman, you just happen to be a reporter? Because I don't really think that's going to work. Now, another key point I want to dissect real quick.
Do it quick because I want to talk.
Okay, fine. The genetic heritage of this engineered society is essentially stored on what appears to be a partial skull. Now, I'm trying to figure out why you would take all this genetic heritage and embed it into a partial skull unless that skull is the Adam skull. Ooh. Okay, so you got this crusty looking skull floating around with runes on it, and this is where with
no explanation,
every child that for this engineered society is supposed to be stored. Okay, now Jor-El extracts this and injects it into the genetic makeup of Superman. So now Superman is essentially the repository of the entire
Petri dish.
Yeah. Okay. Now here's the thing.
He's the sperm bank.
He's the sperm bank, but who is suitable to make that? You're going to have to not marry him to Lois Lane. It's going to have to be the Hoctomom or some shit. Yeah. All of them and one.
I refuse to get in any kind of Superman mating conversation with you. This is not a Kevin Smith film.
It could
leave your kryptonite condoms at the door. They left kryptonite at the door. They left Lex Luthor at the door. One oil tanker. This is Luthor Corp on the side of it. That's it.
Was it Lex or Luthor?
It was Luthor Corp. But it's why can't you bring him into it? I sat in the movie and I wanted to cry. And God rest Christopher Reeve. I miss Gene Hackman. I miss the real story. I miss Superman.
Yeah. Overall, this week. Okay. Once again, problem with the whole engineered society thing. You know, he puts all of, you know, the Kryptonian potential kids in there.
You
but
have
yet,
to get off that. You have
no. Let me say. Yet, okay, scattered around like these outposts and stuff, or these planets, or, you know, where before they decided to become an insulated society, and they started putting, you know, these seed ships out places, doing these outposts.
You're giving away too much of the movie.
I thought it was spoiler alert. If you're watching this and you haven't seen the movie, then fucking go away.
This guy.
Anyway, point being, if everyone is accounted for, and everyone's got a job, and everyone's got a place, so you're just going to scoot, like, essentially what you're referring to as a valid member of your society with a purpose, off to the fringes, and just leave them frozen in ice. No one's going to go see... Okay, that's just a problem.
The bigger problem you're missing with the way they engineer their people is what we talked about earlier, and you tend to forget because you ramble in the car and forget what you're saying, but it's a valid point. This is a society of people who are constantly learning. They're advanced. You never hit too much knowledge. You never hit a point where you say, hey, we're the best we're ever going to be. Let's stop learning. Let's stop developing. Let's freeze it and make all children exactly like this in this point. That would never, ever happen.
So are we saying that once they've gotten it figured out, they're going to lock themselves in this golden age? But the thing is, this golden age uses energy and resources that were not sustainable. That's what caused the planet to become unstable.
Oh yeah, they depleted their resources, and so they drilled until they destroyed Kryptonite. I'm sorry, where's Brainiac when you need him?
Okay, two things.
You're so smart, you're going to use all your resources.
Okay, but two things. A society that believes upon, you know, the genetic engineering as an engineered society, but yet you've got AI developed to the point that you can essentially have Jor-El walking around having a conversation, having arguments.
It wasn't AI. It was one of those things that we have inside that looks like a little bed of nails. You put your face to it, and then
yeah, but once again, though, I can't see a society that would go through that much effort to define the role of everyone.
They did in the library. Oh, yet another thing we stole from Doctor Who.
Okay,
is that someone's free-floating face behind you talking to you?
Now the pinpointing
Donna Noble has been saved.
And did you notice that, like, when Jor-El had the whole scene going on in the ship the first time, it looked like very Art Deco, and like the ship that didn't have the spines in it, like from the original Superman movies, in the artistic rendering had the spines all over it.
Or the part where he flew away on the big ass bug like it was Lord of the Rings. Okay, you know what though?
Dragon. It looked like a dragon rider or Pern.
Props to Russell Crowe though. Seeing Russell Crowe in this film entirely made up for the hot mess that was Les Mis. Because good night, that movie sucked.
All right, we are derailing.
Oh my god. Okay, all right. Just for the sake of wrapping this up, was there anything about this movie you liked? We have to find something.
There were the girl who played like the, you know, kind of soulless, you know, soldier to, I guess, who would she?
Oh, she made me. Okay, remember? Okay, in Superman 2. You had the genius Terrence Stamp playing Zod, and then you had the chick and you had the guy, and forgive me, I'm forgetting their names right now. But you had Mr. Mute Guy, and you had her, remember, Superman, and she throws the mantle cover on. I kept waiting for that to happen. They did have an epic, like, 20-minute battle. A battle that was so CGI heavy, it literally got a headache. First of all, half the movie's filmed with hand cam. You're like this. It's like this. Hi, this is Superman, Man of Steel. What's up? And when it wasn't doing that, there was no smooth transition between what was computerized and what was actual actors. They were so choppy.
But when they transitioned, it was very weakly done. It was almost just like you would watch obviously CGI'd face just morph.
I've seen you do better on Photoshop.
Well, thank you. But I'm pretty good with Photoshop. But yeah, we know. But we're simulcasting this, by the way, so if I look over here, it's actually another camera.
No, he's looking at himself in the mirror. He likes himself that much.
No, it's not ego. It's truth.
All right, truth being, I still think Superman's better than Batman.
Well,
shut up. I still hold out hope that someone will one day do it right. And you know what? I think they did. I think they did with the original Superman and Superman 2, those two films. I think they did it right. They completely derailed when they went on to 3 and 4, but by that point that was just Hollywood looking to milk it and make more money. Superman Returns, as big as a heartbreak and disappointment as it was, Brandon Routh looked and sounded like Christopher Reeve. It was kind of creepy, but I like how romantic the story was. I liked that it was filmed like how Miracle on 34th Street was, with the haze on the. It was the lighting effect and the costumes where it could have been plucked from any time period. It looked really awesome. Kevin Spacey was brilliant. He was no Gene Hackman, but he was brilliant. He really was. It was his henchman. It was Parker Posey. It was that useless dingbat that played Lois Lane. That just all ruined the movie for me. But the way the story picked up and continued on from Superman 2, it was nice. It tied all that in, and I actually, as weak as it was, I liked it because it fit. It worked.
All right, Diane Lane at one point talks about that kid laying there in the crib at night because he had such a difficult time breathing. Now, then, not 20 minutes before, the Electro goes to Jor-El is explaining that it's a more nurturing or nutritive or whatever term he used environment, an atmosphere. So
this was asthmatic Superman.
Well, then again, they tried that with the Brandon Routh film. The kid had asthma and then whatever. I really don't care. But anyway, the whole point being is if it's better for you, why is he having a hard time breathing it? Okay, secondary point, when he gets onto the ship, if he doesn't have the ability to breathe their atmosphere, they obviously had a breather apparatus they were able to put on the human. Oh, it has to run its course. Was he just trying to strengthen the strain? That's some bullshit.
Because they let him cough up some blood and pass out, and then while he was passed out, Zod got in his head and did the whole, look, we're in imaginary Kansas. Look, I'm going to zip him.
Okay, well then why not just go, no, let the weak ass, it would have been truer to his character to go, he's tainted, he's an abomination or whatever, let him suffer. That would have played.
In the fallout of what's happened with Superman films in recent years, Smallville, not to start singing the theme song, but Smallville saved me. It really did, because we got spoiled on Smallville.
It wasn't bad.
It didn't start spiraling out of control till a little bit later. But all
right, last thing. They go into this natural childbirth.
Miss Lex Luthor.
Okay, to create Superman, to undo the wrongs of their frozen society in this perceived golden age, blah blah blah. Okay, but yet when the coup is stopped, everyone is standing around, and beside the council members is the mother, Kal-El's mother, name Laura, like she's perfectly forgiven. Now, is it one of these things where just because the act that she did, although illegal, she got away with it and sent Kal-El out into space? Was it forgiven, or was it like in contrast to what Jor-El was doing? No, Zod was doing. That she was just forgiven. It just seemed, once again, it didn't play because of society like that, being strict to the rules.
Wasn't that Death from Supernatural? That was Death from Supernatural, wasn't it?
Oh, the...
I don't remember. Sorry.
I don't know. We'll have to investigate. But, okay, once again, many story inconsistencies. Story inconsistencies,
terrible acting. The dialogue's bad. And the thing is with movies, I never know whether to blame it on the ability of the actor or the writing that they're handed. Case in point, back to Doctor Who. Matt Smith really, he grew on me. Matt Smith became a good doctor. He became a strong doctor. The writing was terrible. At the point that Matt Smith was brought on board, Doctor Who was finally taking off and catching on in America. Mm-hmm. They dumbed it down.
Right.
Hence Amy Pond's voiceover in the opening credits. It never needed an explanation for, close to 50 years, didn't need an explanation, but all of a sudden, we're going to air it in America simultaneously, so now we have to dumb it down. The writing was crap. I blame you, Stephen Moffat. So I stopped hating Matt Smith and realized it was the writing. But now in the case of Man of Steel, I don't know who to blame.
Well,
I really don't.
Is it
that the writing was so bad, or was it the acting was just that stiff? I mean, could what they were, and it's an action movie, it's a sci-fi action movie. It's not supposed to be that great. I mean, come on. I worship Die Hard, but have you actually listened to any of the stuff that gets said in that movie?
True.
You can make a good movie out of crap dialogue. This did not. It looked.
All right, 5 minutes into it, you just got the lesson of who you are. You're all excited about it. All of a sudden, the boogeyman from your daddy's, ghost bedtime story shows up in a ship and starts putting this very fascist, black and white imagery across all the channels, because everybody can do that.
This imagery right here, the one that says Yana?
Yeah, you are not alone, and all the languages ever imagined. So, I guess they're able to tap into that kind of stuff, Kryptonian technology. You get all that stuff taken care of, and
Kryptonian technology or Gallifreyan? Did his TARDIS not just translate it for him? I'm sorry, look, it just keeps coming out.
I know.
Sorry.
No, it's perfectly fine. But, okay, you know who your enemy is. It'd be like, I don't know, getting a lesson about, now I asked Kerri, it's like, name the worst person in history you can think of quick, and who'd you come up with?
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan. So it's like, Genghis Khan shows up in the TARDIS, for lack of a better word.
I wasn't paying attention, it's the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah, and I said, you're packing heat, and he steps out, and Mongolian goes, I'm going to take over the world now.
And he says,
what do you do?
What do you do? At the same time, he said,
cap him.
And I said, send him back.
I look at it like this. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
He's like, oh, you and your Doctor Who. I'm sorry. Forget Doctor Who. Go back to friggin' Back to the Future. Go to the Terminator. Go to the Planet of the Apes.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Did any of the stuff that they do have any negative effect? Or do we know? Or already has it happened? Isn't the butterfly effect?
Things.
Yeah, but what did it change?
Because look, did you see Bogus Journey?
True.
Thank you. Oh my God. Did it change things? Did you watch the sequel?
I'm just going to say this. Be damned to consequences if the devil pops out of the ground and goes, I'm the devil. I'm going to try to kill him. It's that simple. The devil needs to die.
Maybe thinking Chris Pius.
Keep God out of California. He falls on his head. That's sad. I had to find out. There's a funny clip that we were.
No! Derailed. Stop.
Sorry. Anyway, it's been nice talking to you.
It's been like 22 minutes video. Thank you for sitting through this. You really didn't have to.
Well, we're going to edit it down. Or I will.
I'm just posting this one straight up as it is. Because if you can't stand listening to my mouth.
Because of my foul language.
Your reputation. Fuck your reputation.
I don't know what
Did I just sound like you?
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This episode was brought to you by copious amounts of 7-Eleven coffee.
Shut up. We're tea drinkers on my video. Thank you very much.
7-Eleven coffee.
Get your coffee out of my screen. It's all green like kryptonite. Your coffee is my kryptonite. You're my kryptonite. I hate you. Anyhow, thanks for watching.
Good night.
It's usually not this crazy. It really is, though. The thing is, we need to start bringing a recorder with us to the movies for the ride home. Because we nailed all these points in a 6-minute drive from our house to the movie theater and back. It would have gone a lot quicker than this video did. But since it's our first try, thanks for sticking with it.
And remember, kids, if you see the devil, snap his neck. Don't ask questions.
Now, remember, kids, if you get the option to see Man of Steel at a dollar theater, do it that way. I mean, it's worth looking at. It's worth checking out. It's not worth the $10.50 ticket that we paid at all. And I'm glad that they're calling it the Man of Steel because it's not worthy of being called Super. There you go. There's nothing
nice
super
closing
better.
point.
Like that?
Good night.
I do my best, so. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.